Good evening. I call this meeting to order at 6:05. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Secretary Triplett, can you please call the roll?
President Robinson, Vice President Bowens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, present. Treasurer Gavin, Trustee Rocket Martin,
Present.
Trustee Bradley, present. Trustee Doyle,
Present.
Brother Vice President, a quorum has been established.
Thank you so much. We are now at the section of C on our agenda, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the agenda as is, as this is our work session?
I make a motion to approve tonight's agenda as is.
A motion has been made by Trustee Bradley. Is there a second?
Second the motion.
And a second has been done by Trustee Rocket. Is there any questions or concerns? Therefore, being none, Secretary Triplett, can you please call for the vote?
Vice President Owens,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Trustee Rocket Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you. We are now at the section of our Board of Education norms for Benton Harbor area schools. We will treat each other with respect. We will listen to learn. We will refrain from side conversations. We will use our time wisely, starting and ending our meetings on time. We will challenge ideas, not people. We will ask questions when in doubt. There will be no surprises at the board table. We will practice the 7 norms of collaboration, which are as follows: pausing, paraphrasing, posing questions, putting ideas on the table, providing data, paying attention to self and others, and presuming positive intentions. We are now at the section, and before we go any further, I just want to say kudos to Superintendent Sanders. You have a full cabinet, and welcome to our newcomers. Mr. Trudell and Mr. Jones, welcome to Benton Harbor Area Schools. Okay. We are now at the section for public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment on agenda items? Therefore go ahead. While you're coming, I'm going to read the public comment. You can come and I'll read it. The Benton Harbor Area School Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on district matters. Today, there are 2 areas for comment on the agenda, of which you may decide when to speak. Public comment on agenda items and open public comment. We request that each interested participant complete a public participation form using legible writing to ensure that the responses are appropriate and properly focused. For Benton Harbor Area School Bylaw 0167.3, which governs board participation at board meetings, we request that you preface your comments with your name, address, and group affiliation when appropriate. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes. 3-minute duration, and per our bylaws, no participant may speak more than once on the same topic until any other person has had the opportunity to speak on that topic. Participants may remove their masks when addressing the board. Participants should direct all comments to the board and not to the staff or other participants. The board will listen, take comments and questions under advisement, and will not respond at this time. I, as Vice President, will refer to your questions to the superintendent for research and response. Please ensure your public participation form includes your contact information as requested. If you have any questions for the board or executive team that requires follow-up, please email those directly to alia.ruiz@bhas.org. And please let the record show at 6:09, Treasurer Gavin entered. And you come.
Sifu Mungu. Mwenyezi Mungu ni Mungu moja. Atakipigania Kiswahili. Praise God. God is one God, and he will fight for Swahili. At the last meeting that we had, there was a concern. I know that oftentimes that word is used to show that the board needs to have something addressed. So we want to start off by saying that my name is Deanna Chopin. I am the Swahili teacher here at the Benton Harbor High School. And I want to say, Hakuna Matata. There are no concerns as it relates to Swahili. The question that was on the table, there was two. Number one, my opinion is that Swahili does not facilitate the college readiness of Benton Harbor students. That was the first comment. And then the second one was, why can't we get away from this course? I want to apologize to everyone because being the teacher, I think it's my responsibility to show the powerfulness, the relevance of this course and how it majorly benefits Benton Harbor High School students. So let's speak to the issue of being college ready. Doing a simple Google search, it says college readiness means a student has the academic knowledge, skills, and behavioral habits needed to enter and succeed in entry-level college courses without needing remedial catch-up classes. Is it advisable for a high school student to take a foreign language even if their intended college major or degree track does not require it for graduation? Yes, mastering particularly a critical needs language like Swahili absolutely increases the employability of that student and grants direct access to exclusive jobs that a monolingual graduate could not qualify for. Can you provide information about these critical needs language? Swahili, it says high school students who take a Swahili class. Swahili is a designated critical need language by the U.S. State Department and the United States Department of Defense. And any student that takes that class, he or she gains a distinct college readiness edge over peers taking non-critical need languages like standard French or Spanish.
I'm gonna give you
Are we
more
finished?
seconds. Yeah.
I'll come back. Thank you.
What you can, I was gonna give you another minute, sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It says, it didn't just say, oh, well, it says, okay, studying Swahili signals specialized intellectual curiosity. It unlocks competitive funding and develops advanced cognitive skills that colleges highly value. So that means that when our students take a class in Swahili and a college admissions office or a recruiter picks up their application, and once they see that that class Swahili is taken, that person has a massive, this is what AI said, I didn't say it. It uses the word massive advantage over a student that does not take Swahili, okay? So I'm gonna stop because I want to come back and give you part two. So should I finish? You tell me what to do.
It's you can finish, you got like 13 seconds left.
Okay, so I want to come back after the 13 seconds expires and tell you why we can't get away from it. I hope I answered the question as whether or not it helps our students to be college ready.
Okay, so you're coming back at the next comment? Okay. We are now at the section, thank you. Is there anyone else for public comment? Therefore being none, we're gonna go to review of meeting minutes, and I could be wrong, we don't have those, so we're going to skip those and we'll have those at the next work session. I mean, the next meeting, and you email those out before, correct? Thank you.
Do we need to make an adjustment to the agenda?
Make an amendment. But we're not voting on this, so
Okay.
This is a work session, so. Okay.
So, Brother Vice President, so with those minutes being updated and what have you, I think the reason for the minutes, to be here at the work session is to give us an opportunity to review the minutes prior to the next voting meeting. So if she can get those out to us in an
Yes.
email, we'll still be able to do, our work.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you. We are now at board business. Madam President is not here. I'm assuming that we'll probably go back to old business or new business on that section unless anyone here has board business that they would like to discuss. Okay, we are now at the section for our superintendent, Mr. Sanders.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to draw our attention to policy 40.2. And it's quite a long policy, so policy is there for the board's review. I would like to draw specific attention to the bottom of page 7 and the top of page 8, which speaks directly to our new wireless communication device policy. And this is because of the new law in Michigan from the governor's office stating that students will not be allowed to have cell phones in schools this year. I worked with Neola, and we did a lot of work around this policy to update this policy to make sure that this policy was 100% in compliance with Michigan law. So I'm asking the board to review these policies in 40.2 for our board meeting in 2 weeks.
Thank you. It's Treasurer Gavin.
Thank you, Vice President Bowens. My question, Superintendent Sanders, did Neola review our recent policy? We just passed the policy on this, I want to say about 2 years ago, 1 or 2 years ago, very recent. We had a town hall. We got input from community, experts, students, buy-in, pretty much all the way around. Did they review the policy that we had already and give any input on that?
Yes, they did. And that's why when you read this policy, you won't see very many changes. But this policy does give the administrators the right in this policy to show language like in other areas. So making sure that you can't have a device in our PAC. If we're having a program, even though it's a program, you can't take your phone out just because it's a program. It's still in violation of the law. So we just updated to make sure that we were in compliance with the law, because 2 years ago, this was not a law from Governor Whitman. And so we wanted to make sure that we were compliant with the law before we started the school year this year.
Does it allow them to use the device with permission as it relates to for educational purposes?
Give me more clarification when you say as it relates to
So,
educational purposes.
And I noticed that it wasn't updated, like we made the updates, we approved it at the board table. I didn't necessarily see that update reflected in the online policies, but the one that we approved, there was a stipulation in there that allowed staff, like a teacher, to get approval to utilize those devices should they deem, should administration, I believe it was administration, deem that this is for educational purposes, so you can use the device for this, for this day or for this moment.
No, that's why I said we updated the policy to make sure that we were compliant with the law. I think in that regard, we would be breaking the law if we allow students to come in and use those devices. Now, as you know, in our last board meeting, we ordered MacBooks. We have all of the things that our kids need to be successful in school. We have done those things, but we wanted to make sure that we were again compliant with the law set forth by the governor and the legislative body in Michigan.
Okay, so he specifically said that no administrator or teacher can give permission. There's a law that says that no administrator or teacher can give permission to utilize those devices if it's for educational purposes.
Well, the guidance that we received was to update the language in the policy so that we didn't get into those gray areas when you're talking about 500 students and, you know, a building full of teachers, and now this becomes a subjective thing. And so I think we wanted to make sure that we had a policy that made sure that we never violated the law in Michigan.
So he didn't address it specifically.
No, but I think if you read the policy update, you will see where we did our very best to make sure that this was, again, in compliance with the law. We, you know, our main goal was to make sure that we were following the law and that we were not putting the school board or the school district in any jeopardy.
Okay, thanks. My last statement is that I'm hoping that the policy committee will also take a look at this with that question in mind and give us some insight on that. I appreciate you doing this work.
Thank you, Secretary Triplett.
Thank you, Brother Vice President. The law specifically states that there can be no cell phones in classrooms and during instruction. However, our policy that we worked on, they can use their cell phone in lunch. They just cannot have their cell phones on. It cannot be on their desk. It cannot be visible in a classroom. So I think that, and then, so now when you say clarification, where like they can have their cell phones on in the Performing Arts Center, that can be considered a classroom during instructional time, during the presentation. But it does not say that they cannot have their cell phones on person. They cannot have those cell phones in their classroom. They cannot, if you walk past anybody coming here from the state and walk past a classroom and students have their cell phones on their desk, it is against the law. But during the cafeteria, during their lunchtime, and even in their passing period, unless the district does something different, they are allowed. No instruction, never in the classroom. That's the law. It has not reached that point where students cannot bring their cell phone to school with them, but they cannot have those cell phones on during instruction in a room, in a classroom period. So I think that's something that we really have to get that clarification on, because our students at the end of the day, once instruction is over at the end of the day, they use their phone to call for rides or whatever. So that's the thing. I think, Mr. Sanders, if you all would specifically get that clarification, but that's what the law states. They cannot have cell phones in classrooms. They cannot be visible even if they are off. Which is the reason that we made all the necessary provisions at the school level to make sure we ordered pouches for those cell phones so that they could not be used in the classroom, but they would have access to those phones after school. If a student has an emergency, we can unlock the pouch. Like, we consider all of those things to make those necessary provisions. But they will be allowed. They can use it in the cafeteria. Yeah, and that's why I'm asking the board to read this policy, and we will do whatever the board says is acceptable. Okay.
Trustee.
I think one of the things we were looking at when we did our district policy was the fact that in the lunchroom, sometimes disruptions happen. And those were the times that they would use those cell phones to broadcast to their friends and to others and cause greatest disruption. So I thought we had kind of decided that we would not let them use their cell phones even in the hallway passing because they use their cell phones to call others up to cause disruptions. So I thought we had kind of decided that they would not use their cell phones until the end of the day. And if they had extracurricular activities, they would be allowed to have them then to call parents or whatever to, if they needed to. So I kind of like it that way because I know you'll get Facebook pages of kids having issues. And once it's out there, it's out there. And so I think it's better if we leave them like Superintendent Sanders say, locked up until the end of the day. If they need to call parents, there's a phone in every classroom. There's a main office. There's a place that they can go to get in contact with their parents if they need to.
We must follow the law. And I think the district has some leeway for conversation with students. I know they cannot use them for instructional purposes or anything like that. But we must follow the law. But also, this is just my personal feelings about it. Every last one of us sitting up here right now have our cell phone in our possession. We use our cell phone. I think that it is very, very critical that everything does not become punitive, and that it is a discussion that is held with students and teach our students how to do it responsibly. In those cases where students who do not have a right to videotape anything in this school, that is a discipline problem, and that is ground for suspension or whatever the district have in place. Anybody who takes a picture of or videotape in this school, they are breaking the law. And so if that comes, it comes up on your page, it comes up in your reel, your name is on it, you will be held responsible. So I mean, I think that I would hope that we would look at that and then have these conversations with our students. Okay, so but the law specifically states the classroom and during instructional time, which means when instruction is going on and they get a pass to go to the bathroom, they cannot have their phones on during instruction. That is instructional time. So those are the periods that they can't have their phone. My understanding.
Thank you, Secretary Triplett. Is there any other questions or comments? What I will say, we can expect it to probably become a national issue. Our state senator, Alyssa Slockton, has put statements out, stating the need to ban, cell phones in the education system in classrooms. I also know from talking to teachers from the middle school level, it's an issue. And from the high school level, it's an issue. I also would express to see what is St. Joe doing? What is Lakeshore doing? What are our other school districts in this region doing? Because the state law doesn't just apply to us, it applies to them. And what is the best practice on that? So thank you. Oh,
I was just gonna say real quick too. Also, if you look on page 25 of the policies here, they do have it outlined more in full and detail on page 25, 26, and 27, and also gives us options and different options that we can look at. So I don't know if we need to have a policy committee meeting probably to discuss further, or if we have time where we could just read it before the next meeting. I think we should look that over.
thank you, Trustee Bradley. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next session. And
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Just question of clarity. There is there are other pages on here. Are we supposed to consider volume 40, number 2 on page 18 as well, that deals with volunteers? Or is this only about or is this change only about the cell phone policies?
Well, I'm asking the board to review the entire document, but as it relates to the policy on volunteers, there were 0 changes to the policies. What they did was took 2 of those policies and combined them into one. But when you read the old policy and what's here, you'll see that there were 0 changes.
Oh, okay. It's a little confusing because they crossed it out.
Yeah, they crossed
Okay, so the only thing that has changes is the cell phone stuff. Is that
That's correct.
okay? Thank you.
Thank you. We are now to you, Treasurer Gavin. for the teaching and learning section.
Okay, so we didn't get an opportunity to meet just yet for our teaching and learning committee, but it looks like Dr. Jones does have some feedback around the survey. And there's a report for us to take a look at. So before we get into that, I did want to say, especially with Dr. Chopin being here, I want to say congratulations on getting your certification. This gives us a very unique opportunity in the district to be able to offer Swahili as a language class. And it's something that I don't think our surrounding schools are offering at this time. So I think it's super exciting. It gives our students a sense of cultural awareness. And I would love for us during work session, during this teaching and learning and student support services times, to use some space within our agenda to highlight and to congratulate all of our teachers who do the hard, heavy lifting of, you know, getting their certification. We invested a lot of money in the Grow Your Own program. They've invested a lot of their time and energy. And when they pass over that threshold, because I know it's hard when you're working and going to school, sometimes holding up a family, to also get that certification so that you can be your best version of yourself for our students in our school district. So I would love for us to carve out some space on our agenda to congratulate and highlight those teachers who are moving forward. And then also, I'm looking forward to us getting some feedback on the and I'm not sure if that's teaching and learning. That might be facilities and operations. So I might be stealing some thunder. But had we met, I would have loved to kind of cover what is the process for the, we discussed in the last meeting, the process for rolling out the iPads. Is that what y'all call them? I'm an Android person still. The MacBooks, so would love to get the details on that. And in the future, would love to have a standing space on Zello updates, possibly even using some of our time for a Zello training that can be recorded so that our constituents can get trained on, especially our parents can get trained on Zello. That has been a major priority for the, it says teaching and learning here, but it's curriculum, instruction, and student support services committee. So I will get an opportunity when we meet as a committee to kind of share those priorities. But for now, I will go ahead and before I go on, I want to say this was an informal congratulations to Dr. Chopin. I would like for us during our session to have a space to do something even more grand for all of our teachers as they pass that threshold of getting their certification. Whether it's me as committee chair or us as a district having something at hand to give to them, I think would be a great opportunity to celebrate the great work and tenacity. And so I will now turn it over to Dr. Malcolm Jones, and I would like us to welcome Dr. Malcolm Jones to the board. Heard nothing but great things about you and about the PD, and so get an opportunity to hear from you at this time.
Well, thank you for welcoming me here. I'm glad to be here. I've been ready to go to work and I hit the ground running. Last week we had our Ben Harbor Area School Summer Institute. And I'll just share some of the findings that we had from the survey. We had 272 survey responses. And out of those survey responses, the overall experience was rated 4.77 out of 5. 90% of the participants rated the sessions as excellent or very good. 91% rated the presenters excellent or very good. And some of the key findings, 93% agreed or strongly agreed that the session objectives were clear. 90% agreed or strongly agreed that the content was relevant to their work. 92% agreed or strongly agreed that the presenters communicated content effectively. 89% agreed or strongly agreed the sessions actively engaged them in learning. 91% agreed or strongly agreed that the strategies or resources were practical and useful. 90% agreed or strongly agreed that they gained knowledge or skills that would strengthen their practice. And finally, 89% agreed or strongly agreed that they were prepared to apply something from the session in their work. So it was a great week. We had guys come in from all over the country, and we worked the entire week. I think I'm still trying to catch up now. So, but it was a great week.
I want to thank you so much, Dr. Malcolm Jones. I had an opportunity to peek my head in a couple times, and I was truly and deeply inspired. I was able to hear the keynote address from Superintendent Sanders, and I just left feeling like, I believe we could fly. I'm very serious. It was definitely an anointed space. The energy was high. There was deep engagement, and I feel good about our Tiger year, our 26-27 school year. And I want to thank everybody who flew in. I want to thank you, Superintendent Sanders, for leading in that way and understanding what our staff needed. And I believe that this, and I want to thank you for keeping your word on getting the surveys done, turning that around, getting that back to us so quickly. I also believe that this would be a great opportunity, if possible, to connect with if you may have already thought about this, but to connect with our comms person and get this out to the public in some type of beautiful way so that they know, teachers all over the nation complain about PDs and they feel like it's a waste of time. They're not hitting the mark, but that's not what happened here in Benton Harbor last week. So I think it's a great opportunity to kind of throw that up on the brag board. Are there any of the other board members, Trustee Bradley, who'd like to comment or have questions?
I just want to comment. I really enjoyed it. I ended up coming Wednesday, stayed half a day, came back Thursday, said, okay, I'm gonna see what it's about, and stayed the whole day Thursday and came back Friday. One of the teachers had joked with me and said, well, we might get you to HR and sign up for a job. But I want to say that it was a very excellent, very good professional development. Yeah, I know that's right up my alley, dealing with the MASB stuff and coming in and hearing a lot of that, some of the things that we were discussing at MASB about data, and hearing it come back and talking with our teachers and going down to that ground level, talking to our teachers, interacting with our teachers. We have an excellent group of educators in the school district. And I'm very elated that I had a chance to talk to our teachers, get to know them, hear their stories, seeing some teachers that were my teachers when I was in school, and had a chance to catch up and hear their backgrounds. They're not just diverse racially, but diverse age-wise, diverse background experiences. And I think that's very good when you look at education, because our teachers are going to help our students with their background stories, develop them. So it was very good. The trainings were very culturally relevant. Just like I told Superintendent Sanders, I ended up buying a book to kind of peruse through while I was taking a look at some stuff. But it was very good. And thank you all. Thank you, Superintendent Sanders, for the invitation. And I also want to give a shout out to the food service department too, because they were working hard too, and they were in the kitchen and making sure that the teachers were fed and making sure everybody had a good time and had a meal so they could concentrate on learning.
Thank you so much, Trustee Bradley. I see Secretary Tripple's hand up.
Thank you, Treasurer Gavin. I just want to say to Dr. Jones, welcome again. And to Superintendent Sanders, thank you for inviting the Board of Education to come. That was the first time that ever happened since I've been on this board. And when I went in to one of the openings, it was just so awesome to see Trustee Bradley, the president of the Board of Education, Trustee Rocket Martin, Treasurer Gavin. We just, and everybody was so kind. I have to piggyback on what Treasurer Gavin said and what Trustee Bradley said. It was so refreshing. The conversations on a regular basis during I was able to come 3 times. The teachers were on fire. There was a group of teachers. There had been something scheduled for a group of teachers prior to Mr. Sanders becoming our superintendent. And so that Tuesday, I think they were scheduled to go Wednesday and Thursday. And they was like, they didn't want to leave. They did not want to miss it. And so they called their principal that night and some adjustments were made. And when I came the next day, they were here. 90 percentile. We haven't heard those numbers in a long time as it relates to anything in Benton Harbor area school. And this is from our staff. People might forget what you say, and they might even forget what you do. Maya Angelou said, but they will never, ever forget how you made them feel. And I want to thank you all for being so kind and so respectful, if you will, to our professional staff. And I'm so excited for the things to come.
Yes, thank you so much, Secretary Triplett. Superintendent Sanders.
I would just like to take this opportunity to thank this school board for showing up during and showing up consistently during our week of professional learning. That meant a lot to me, and I know it meant a lot to our teachers to see that our leadership was invested in their learning. So thank you guys so much for all of the support that you gave us last week. It means a lot and we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Sanders. President Robinson, we were just reviewing some feedback from a really great survey from professional development. I'm not sure if you wanted to chime in, if there was any other board members who wanted to chime in on that before we moved on.
Absolutely. Thank you for consideration. Let the record show President Robinson has arrived as of 6:40 p.m. I did actually have an opportunity to review the survey data with Superintendent Sanders that Friday when I went during the lunch hour. And I would like to piggyback off the sentiments that I overheard from Secretary Triplett. The atmosphere in the room was very transformational. It was amazing. Our teachers are extremely honest about their experiences. And so the first day I went, lunch hour, I kind of tuned in and asked them what they were thinking. And they said they had been enjoying it. It was absolutely awesome thus far. And I think I emailed that out to the board in thanks to Superintendent Sanders. And then Friday, the sentiments were the same. And I think the message of empowerment that you relayed in the PAC was one of the best elements to me. And I know that it really impacted our staff. And I did overhear Ms. Broyles giving you commendations for not only her experience, but the conversations that she hears from staff about their support in your leadership thus far. And the survey data for it to be nearly 5, a level of 5 in excellence, our people are extremely transparent and honest. So that just speaks to the amazing work that you've done. I'm honored to have been here and to have shown support because as Secretary Triplett said, I think sometimes because we try to respect the governance hierarchy, we're not always invited into those rooms. And so I think your transparency in allowing us to be a part of that experience and not feeling concerned about us having an opportunity to be amongst the staff also speaks to the transparency of leadership in which you show. So thank you so very much for making me a proud president because I really was.
I think that's important to make the president proud.
I would agree. It's important to make all of us proud. I've had some moments in my past where I've been quite embarrassed. Thank you. So I appreciate this season of your leadership.
Thank you so much, President Robinson. I see Trustee Rocket Martin's hand up as well.
And not only was the perfection circulating in the building, it was also circulating outside the building. It was in the wind, as they say. As I was going about my daily activities, people made their way to me to tell me how good your in-services were. And so I look forward to not just letting it in right those 5 days, but I know our teachers will take that knowledge and use it in their classrooms so that our students will also experience what they experienced. That's why we do in-servicing. And so I'm looking forward to see, what becomes of it in a good way.
Thank you so much, Trustee Rocket Martin. My last comment on it is, 2 things. For you to be able to get that many folks out during their summer break, and it was optional, and they came out, and you got, almost 300 respondents on a survey, speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. And so it speaks to your leadership, and, a leader can divide or can bring folks together, and you brought folks together. So thank you for that. And we'll go on to the next section. Dr. Jones, are you leading Part B as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. You got it.
Okay, this is staff report, the staff report for the approval of the contract with Subject. August 25th, 2026. We're submitting for the board consideration. The Board of Education shall approve all textbooks or contracts used as a part of the educational program of this district. Purchases over $31,321 need board approval according to the most recent State of Michigan Department of Education threshold. Facts and analysis. To ensure equitable access to high-quality instruction and expand learning opportunities for all students, we recommend adopting Subject.com as a provider of synchronous and asynchronous online learning. This platform addresses critical staffing shortages, supports credit recovery and acceleration, and allows us to offer a broader range of electives, advanced courses, and flexible learning pathways. Subject.com's certified teachers, accredited curriculum, and real-time progress monitoring provide a scalable, cost-effective solution that aligns with our district's commitment to personalized, student-centered education, regardless of location, schedule, or staffing limitations. Policy reference 6320, purchasing, funding source, Regional Assistance Grant, RAG, Strategic Plan Reference, Academics. Benton Harbor area schools will increase student achievement and measure as measured on local, state, and national assessments, and the recommended action that Benton Harbor Area Schools Board of Education votes to approve the 2026-2027 contract with subject for a flat rate totaling $750,000.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jones. A couple questions before I turn it over. I recognize that the school is gonna start and we don't have another board meeting for 2 weeks. So is this something that gets through Superintendent Sanders or either of you or both? Is this something that you recommend and that we make a decision on tonight, or is it something that can wait till the next board meeting?
Well, it would be absolutely great if you made a decision tonight. I think the district would appreciate that, but if you needed time to review it, I think we'd be okay through the next board meeting. One of the things that I want to say about subject, and we have representatives here from some subject with us tonight, is one of the things I'm most excited about with this subject contract is it really allows us, so we bought additional seats in subject, and well, you can see from last year, we reduced the cost. I think this cost us a little bit over $1 million last year. But what we were able to do this year, streamline some of that because we have more teachers. And so we didn't have to buy the services of the teachers as much as we did last year because we have our own certified teachers. And I think that is great for our district and for our students. What we did was to purchase more seats for our kids to participate in course recovery. In the past, our kids could only participate in course recovery when they made it to their senior year. And that made it difficult. We experienced that at the end of last year, having to keep the window open until the very last minute, pushing those students, trying to inspire those students, and making sure that we were supporting those students to do the necessary work to recover those courses. And this is a huge part of our agreement in terms of the partnership agreement. One of our goals is to increase our graduation rate. And so this contract allows for students as early as 9th, 10th grade to start to recover those courses because we bought additional seats for the entire school. And I think that's going to be really helpful for our kids. I don't want students having to wait 3 years to recover a course from 9th grade and have that level of stress, but that's what happened this year. And so I'm really, really excited about this contract that we were able to reduce the cost, but have what we think is more impact.
Thank you so much. I'll turn it over to colleagues if they have questions. Are there any questions from my colleagues? Secretary Triplett.
I don't have a question, but I do have a statement. I think it is very, very, very important that we support the district and central administration as it relates to this contract. I'm so glad that you all did buy more seats because that was a very difficult piece where students, if a student in the 9th grade failed 9th grade English and a student in the 10th grade, we don't retain, they have to have their credit. They flunked 10th grade English, then they fail 11th grade English, and they have to make up all of those classes in their senior year. That doesn't make any sense. I think that this will definitely support our graduation rate, move it up. So if a freshman did not do well in the first semester, will that student be able to go into course recovery the second semester? Mr. Sanders or Mr. Jones?
Well, I'll speak to that. For a student to fail the course, they have to fail the year. And so we look at the end of year grades, but what this will do, if a student fails English 9, that student will not have to wait till their senior year to recover. And that's what, another thing we did was we changed our schedule. And so Tiger Time is now first hour of the day. And this course recovery is offered during the first hour of the day as well. And so our students won't have to wait 3 years. And that was the biggest thing to me. And so if a student doesn't do well in the first semester, there's still a chance that student can pass that class for the year. But if they don't pass that class for the year, they don't have to wait. And if they don't pass multiple classes, they're not that far behind, because I think that also adds to the dropout rate, because students start to lose hope. You know, I gotta pass all these classes, plus take the additional classes that the counselor keeps putting on my schedule. Thank you.
Great question. Any other questions from the board? I'm not sure how my colleagues feel, but I believe we've received information about subject before. It sounds like administration is clear on what they want. I believe that it would be good for us to be able to start the year off with everything that they need instead of making a decision after the fact. So if it pleases the board, I would like to make a motion that we support staff report T1.
Second.
Okay, so the motion has been made by Treasurer Gavin and supported by Vice President Bowens that we accept and approve staff report T1 concerning the approval of the contract with subject today. Any additional questions, comments, or concerns from the board? Any objections to taking the vote today? All right, I do have one quick, just want to share that I recall having a training. Subject did a virtual training before. I was like, this gentleman looks familiar.
I did.
They did a virtual training that was made available to some of our committee members, I believe. And so we have received the information that I need to move forward.
Yes, sir.
I was saying the same thing. I was looking at him, I'm like, I remember him. I think the atmosphere is kind of shifted, so you all don't have to look so afraid, because you was like this. Because when I met you last year, you know, it was so powerful. The presentation was powerful. When I was looking, is that him? Because you were like, tonight. So, you know, yeah, but I think you all did a great job. I really appreciate. Many people have come before this Board of Education and made presentations and promises that they did not keep. So I want to thank you. I'm glad and I feel comfortable enough that our Director of Academic and our Superintendent has brought this before. So you can smile, don't, because I almost didn't recognize you. Thank you. Yeah, there you go.
All right, and I don't, was there anything that you all would like to add? I know that we're getting ready to take the vote, but you took your time to come here. So you do have an opportunity to speak if you'd like.
Yeah, that's him.
Thank you. Is this better?
Yeah, it wasn't right.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, Madam President, I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to be able to support your students this year. You know, Mr. Sanders as well, thank you so much for presenting this to the board today. It's been great getting to know not only your students through our direct synchronous instruction, but also your staff. Everyone has been incredibly welcoming, and the trainings I think have been great. We have another one on Wednesday to start the CAPE program, and just it's been an opportunity for me personally to work with fantastic teachers, administrators, you as the board. So we as representatives of subject are just proud to partner with Benton Harbor. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no other questions or comments from the board, Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote?
Madam President.
Yes.
Vice President Bowen.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett. Yes. Treasurer Gavin.
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, thank you. Treasurer Gavin, are you completed with teaching and learning?
I am complete. Thank you.
All right, so you can proceed with business and finance. Treasurer Gavin.
Thank you, President Robinson. We had a really great business and finance committee meeting yesterday. Director Brock Carter was on point, organized, and had everything available to us as usual. We did talk about streamlining our board presentations, if there's some things that board members can read on their own prior to, that would be great. If there are things that Director Brock Carter believes that should be brought to our attention, we would like to kind of focus on those things. We're also looking for maybe a possible new metrics training or something like that in an upcoming meeting so that we can get more familiar with that, and it's something that can be recorded and shared with the community for transparency. We also talked about field trip. We, as a board, we've been mentioning that we would love to be able to approve those reoccurring field trips on the front end, things like Potawatomi Zoo. We know we're going to say yes to that, right? So Director Brock Carter gave us a date that she thought would be good. If we can be prepared to kind of review the reoccurring or the submitted field trips. I believe it is the last board meeting in September. Is that right? So the last board meeting in September. So if staff has their stuff ready to go and it's available to us, we can approve that stuff on the front end so staff can go ahead and start promoting, preparing, planning, and letting everybody get those field trips underway. So I think that's another way of us just being more intentional at the board table. So you can just kind of come in with the mindset of us possibly voting on that at that time and oblige us. That would be great. I will go ahead and turn it over to Director Brock Carter, who will focus on the main reports that we need to review.
Thank you, Treasurer Gavin. I appreciate all what you said because I don't have to say much. If there aren't any questions or concerns concerning the reports that we have reviewed in our Finance Committee meeting, I don't have much today because we'll be voting at the next meeting. I did get a chance to add some of the information you requested, Director Gavin, on the financial summary. Director Gavin asked that I add what is the amount of our total fund balances at the end of whatever period that we're on, whatever month that we're on, and what would be the expected by the state of Michigan. So I'm just going to link in a new financial summary. I didn't get a chance to link it in and have it printed out in your packets today on the extra line item that I added at the top of the financial summary, but I just linked it in now. If you want to have a chance to look it over now, we can look it over later. We can go over it next meeting. But I just wanted to add that all of our total fund balance for all of our funds at the end of July will be $24,325.71. As to be expected by the state is 15% of our total revenue for the year. And right now, we have budgeted $24,101,116 for total revenue, and 15% of that would be $3,720,167. So as you can see, we are well above the amount to be expected by the state in fund balance.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think this is really good information for us to have on a regular basis. Vice President Burns, see your hand up.
Yes, thank you. I noticed on the large payments, and I'm going to ask this as a level of protecting the district. I see that we're paying Connexus $47,000. Right now, it's a news story with that agency. Could we pause that relationship, or we're not able to pause that?
Under our Section 107 grant for adult education, our grant is actually administered by Calhoun County. ISD.
Okay.
So our funds go through Calhoun, they don't go through Connexus. And this is our final billing for our 25-26 adult ed program. We haven't started budgeting for 26-27 yet. So when that comes up, I will definitely be asking all the questions, concerns. I've seen all the reports of what's going on with that agency. So we'll make sure that our program is secure and our numbers are accurate when it comes to that. But it is administered through Calhoun County ISD. So we don't necessarily no more than they have to bill us so that we can get the grant funds to offset those bills. So that's pretty much the relationship financially when it comes to Connexus.
So, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So Calhoun County, is handling it. So does that mean it's a possibility that Benton Harbor area schools, we could rework that relationship and say we want to have it instead of that agency doing it?
Yes, and then maybe what we have to do, it depends on what comes from the investigation and everything that's going on with Connexus.
Okay, even if it's the investigation finds out that it's nothing, but we've seen the reports, we can say to them that we want to bring this in-house.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Treasurer Gavin.
Hey, thank you. Great question, Vice President Bowens. We did discuss in our committee meeting, Benton Harbor area schools getting credit for that adult education program. It's not just the Connexus program. Director Brock Carter said that she has been talking to them about, making sure that our partnership is clear and that the community knows where where those service offerings are really coming from. I'll turn it over to Trustee Raquel Martin for your questions.
And just for clarity, a grant is given, that money is not coming out of our fund balance, but a grant is given to us by the state of Michigan to support adult ed, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, good deal. And I see Secretary Tripp's hand up.
Yes, but I just wanted to know, I keep hearing adult education, but who, Mr. Sanders, the superintendent, what is the superintendent's role as it relates to accountability? Who's checking, you're building, are people graduating, are adults in this community? I mean, who has that information? Take the lead on that, Mr. Sanders?
Thank you for that question, Secretary Triplett. I'm going to ask for a little time on that because that's one of the things I've not wrapped my head around doing so many other things. With Dr. Jones and I will have a conversation. We'll make sure that we're really educated around that particular program in our district and we'll be able to report back to the board in our next meeting.
Okay, I remember Benton Harbor had a very powerful adult education program. Director Brock Carter, so prior to Mr. Sanders coming and Dr. Jones coming, who was monitoring to make sure that the adults in Benton Harbor that and the portion of the grant money that we were used that was being used and billed, because you could handle that grant money. I mean, I just want to, I've never heard anybody say anything about who are these people. No one has ever presented to us that there are 30 adults in this program, nothing.
There is a state reporting system called NARES that keeps track of all of the information regarding the aid. We have a training next month with NARES. I do have access to it, but I don't know what I'm looking at this point. So I have a training next month. We do have quarterly meetings with all of the Calhoun as well. So there's lots of checks and balances. There is a state reporting system that is monitored by MDE. And they provide the information on the enrollees, the graduates, what zip code they're from, how many came in, how many stayed until graduation. There's an English language learning program as well for adults who don't speak English, want to learn English. certificate. There's a so provide education for people at the Beaufort County Jail. So there is a whole system that just like any other school where everything is tracked and documented. And I do have access to that system. And once I get the training, I will be making sure that Superintendent Sanders and Mr. Jones have access as well, so that we're all monitoring that program.
Thank you so very much.
These are really great questions. Thank you so much, Secretary Triplett, for the see President Robinson's hand.
I just had a quick question. As far as adult education, how are those numbers of students enrolled counted? Like, do they keep that as a separate, if we were to bring that in-house, would that be a separate bucket?
Yes, that would be included in our enrollment numbers.
Okay, okay.
Thank you. And I want to say that these are really good questions in terms of how we can connect to what we're offering. There are people in the community who have asked about adult ed within Harvard schools, and it is important for us to have something that shows that we are providing that as a partnership, whether it's on our webpage or some communication through our comms. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we move forward with that. And I'll turn it over to you, Director Blackheart, if there's anything else you want to share on that financial summary. I'm sorry, it looks like President Robinson has a question.
I did, and it doesn't necessarily need answering today, but I was just curious. It's a couple check numbers. If maybe before we vote next week, we get clarification. They're very minor.
Sure.
Okay. Check number 58913 to Michigan State University. 58912, wondering what we're paying St. Joe Public Schools for.
Michigan State University was for our
Okay.
and the St. Joe Public Schools was for our robotics team.
Okay, awesome. And I'm not trying to hate on my sores, but check 58895 to Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated Ann Arbor Alumni Chapter.
Yes, they have a job fair that Jessica McFarland attended.
Okay, I knew it was a bird approach. I just had to ask.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I just want to add, I look forward to share what connects us on more and getting more information for not only myself in the district, but the board as well. So it being it's important to me that the students know that that program would not exist if it wasn't for Benton Harbor area schools. So I want to make sure that is clear for the participants and also connections as well, that they wouldn't be able to offer that program if it wasn't for us. So I look forward to building that partnership more and getting more information to share with you all.
Absolutely. I'm wondering, during their graduation, are they wearing caps and gowns? What color are they?
That's part of the budget.
That type of
And they are Black.
branding is very intriguing. And do we, is there some way for us to celebrate them? I think it would be great for us to celebrate our graduates. They are our graduates as well.
Yes, they
I
are.
see your hand up, Trustee Raquel Martin.
And I know that at the end of the year, when the paper posts all of the schools with their graduates, Connexus has a section in there of all the students that have graduated from their program. So they see them as a school that's.
But it's our program.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's very
They have Benton Harbor, and then they have Connexus.
right. So it'd be great to set the record straight on that. Anything else on your end, Director Brockhart? I turn it over to you. And
No, I said we'll take the vote at the next meeting.
hey, good deal. I'll turn it over to you, President Robinson.
All right, thank you all. And I want to let you know, I'm glad. I'm very impressed. I didn't expect anything different, that you were prepared to tell me every check I called. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but I appreciate that. Up next, we have facility and operations. I'll pass it over to the chairman, Secretary Triplett.
First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome our new Director of Facilities. I also want to take this opportunity to tell Superintendent Sanders when this board decided to vote you into that role. You were on a bus with one wheel. The cabinet was almost non-existent. Yeah, it was very, very tough. And the thing, if you look, you all remember me saying about I've never driven up to this school and been so embarrassed. The way in which our facilities looked, it was horrific. And it hurt me personally because this is my alma mater. It looked like, grass, weeds. I didn't know that mailbox existed. It was covered by a tree. And when you see trees coming up in places that they weren't planted, that's a sign of neglect. The aesthetic of a district is a drawing tool. It must take priority. And so when you look out, I think the last thing was walking into this board meeting and grass was everywhere coming up out of the sidewalk. I want to tell you, Mr. Sanders, thank you so very, very much. And is it Trudell?
Yes, sir. Trudell.
Mr. Trudell. I have been praying for the day that you came here, because this is something that these are our treasures. And you hear us say all the time, in particular, our treasure gathering, we talk about our land and we talk about our facilities. Our kids should not ever have to walk into facilities that are not top of the line. It's not about building a new schools or new all of these things. It's about taking care of what you have. And so I'm excited. I'm going to, now that we do have a director, another director, because there was a little space, a gap in between there. We will be getting our committee structured together and have all of that set up for you guys. But I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, all members of the school board and administration. I'm looking forward to this opportunity. Everything you said is valid, and I believe with time, things will improve in this district.
Can't hear you.
Have you pull a little closer to your mic?
Is it loud enough?
Can you turn it up?
Hello.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you to all members of the school board and administration. I'm looking forward to this opportunity. I'm excited for the improvement that is going to be upon us here at Benton Harbor area schools. I've been discussing with my staff the leadership and the inspiration that Superintendent Keith Sanders has been. I'm looking forward to serving him as well too. I've only been here a short amount of time. I don't have survey metrics to put forth in front of you. I brought a little piece of show and tell for you too, but I'm looking forward to making each and every day a positive impact to this district. And I have a very simple philosophy. If we can leave the building in just a little bit better shape than we find it in, each and every day we're making positive strides toward that. And I look forward to serving all of you.
Thank you.
Okay. I see here on the agenda for the update on the Teen Center League, since it was presented before the Board of Education and to the community. Can you give us an update?
Absolutely.
On that.
So as of 1:12 p.m. this afternoon, I brought the show and tell here. This is the culprit right there. The water is back on at the teen center. Now, with that said, there is much more work to become, but I believe that's a positive first step. We're gonna be getting electrical in there to get the lights turned on. Been discussing with Director Mohammed about Friday's football game. We're gonna get the teams in there in those locker rooms. I think the football field's starting to look very promising too for Friday night's game as well. And I believe those are the types of impacts and improvements that you should all expect at the occupied school buildings moving forward.
Thank you. Do anybody have any questions here at the table? Treasurer Gavin?
First of all, I want to welcome you and I want to thank you for getting on top of that. Once again, Superintendent Sanders kept his word that he would turn that over as a priority and it got taken care of. So I'm sure that the football team, the coaches appreciate that. They absolutely deserve it. My question is around and I'm not sure that's one thing I wasn't sure about. For the updates around does technology fall under under facilities or does it fall under? So I'm looking for an update on the rollout of the notebooks. Is that something that would fall under facilities committee or is that something that would fall under teaching and learning?
Mr. Sanders.
I don't know how we've done it in the past. Mr. Ash is not at the meeting tonight. I can give you an update in that we're still waiting on those MacBooks. We've been in contact with the company. Man, we can get them by the first day of school, that would be great. But if we have to go a week without those MacBooks, we still have devices that our kids can use. So it won't stop teaching and learning, but I'll make sure that we get an update from Mr. Dash.
Okay, that would be great. And if facilities committee doesn't mind, I would love to work with that through our committee. Just getting the rollout in terms of the process of upkeep and all of that. Like what is the standard operating procedures for that? Is that something?
I think what my thought would be that should go under teaching and learning.
Well, that was my question to the board. Historically, where has it been? Because we want to follow that.
Madam President.
So I think it varies depending upon what technology is actually doing. So as it relates to MacBooks for our students, the year would be under curriculum, it would fall under her committee. If it was a tech issue related to the functioning of the doors or the security system, then that would go under facilities. So technology is one of those areas where it differs depending upon the impact of that particular item.
Okay. Perfect. So I'm happy to deal with the details in teaching and learning and be able to give briefer summary at the next work session. If that sounds like does that sound like an adequate amount of time?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good deal. Thank you.
So, Mr. Trudell, is that it for tonight?
I believe it's a positive first start and there's more to come.
Thank you.
Last question, I'm sorry. Through the chair, is it possible for us to have as a running agenda item under facilities, updates on the progress of the master's facility plan?
Yes, that's one thing that we will, those of us are on the facility committee, like you said, he's only been here a week. And they've been starting, just to get school open. Yes. And so I did not want to overwhelm. So we will be getting with, as the chairman, we will be getting with Mr. Trudell and Mr. Sanders. So that we'll have something to present to the board ASAP.
Many thanks.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Vice President Bowen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I drove to Britton Heights. Martinville is completed. It's nothing but soil. And I see today they started demolishing Bard. So a lady came up and talked to me and I'll talk about that in my commentary. Yeah.
Trustee Bradley.
Mr. Trudell, I just want to say welcome aboard and seeing progress all around thanks to your leadership and the leadership of Superintendent Sanders. Teamwork makes the dream work. Drove past the football field the other day, and I was in the car with my mom. We were going down to pick up my brother from work. And I said, look, she said, oh, you can see the football field. I said, "Why forget it?" Okay, so guys, the football field looks amazing. And definitely glad to see progress happening. I know when I saw you at professional development last week, I mean, I would see you, then you'd be gone. You then pop up again, then see you for a second, be gone. I was like, oh, okay, but I'm glad to see things are getting done.
Thank you very
Just-
much.
I'm here. I'm the chair.
Okay.
Everybody forget. You know, we're gonna keep on moving quickly. Trustee Rocket Martin.
Thank you. I'd also like to give a shout out to your team. You have an amazing team, maintenance team and custodial team that's working with you. I'd like to give a shout out to them for the work that they've done prior to you coming here. Because I saw this summer firsthand the work that they did in buildings without direct supervision, without a director. So to you and your team, keep up the good work. I promised them donuts, so I guess I have to keep that. I'm gonna be buying a lot of donuts because every time they did so, that's great. So you have an amazing team.
I agree. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I've been discussing with them Superintendent Sanders' leadership. He has high expectations for us all, and we will succeed.
Thank you, Trustee Rocket Martin.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. And I want to take this opportunity to say that I do appreciate all that you do. You like boots on the ground. And it's very necessary. It's very important. And I really do appreciate that as well, Ms. Rocket Martin. That's it, Madam President.
The only thing that I would like to add is that it's amazing to finally see your face.
I know.
I made 2 separate attempts. I think Monday I came up and I tried to wait around, but you were boots on the ground checking out your land. And so I knew that. And then when I came back Friday, you were doing the same thing. So I appreciate you coming in, like Trustee Bradley said, and ensuring that you really understood what you had inherited. And so I look forward to great things. And the thing I have is I need you to ensure that we can hear you, because I can tell you're not a person that is trying to be seen or heard. You just want to get the work done. That shows automatically. But I need to make sure the minutes are correct. And in order to do that, I need you closer to you, Mike.
Absolutely. I'll practice on that. Actions speak louder than words.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam.
I noticed that when you guys put your reports and what have you in here, that you have this new orange backdrop with this tiger stuff on it, and then the information that you're putting in is blue. It's a blue dot, and you have it like on 11. It's very difficult to see the blue. You need to make it larger. Because on the screen, the HR, it's about this big. Yeah, so you guys can make it, probably need to make it a 14, because that light blue on that orange at a 10, it feels like you're doing something that you don't want us to see it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think you're referencing the hyperlink.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. All right, if there's no other updates from facility and operations, we will proceed with human resources. I'll pass it over to the chairman, Vice President Bowens.
Madam President, thank you so much. We have been giving HR and all departments that I said, and I know we've been in a season of transition and they have professional development and so much more. So we're in transition. Hopefully this month we'll have it, or next month. I'll send an email out tomorrow or tonight to the committee members so we can have a meeting and get it scheduled with the superintendent and Director Dorsey. If you have any questions for the HR committee, please send them to me so we can discuss them and have answers to you at our next work session or committee meeting with any questions you may have. I'm now going to give it to Director Dorsey.
Thank you, Vice President Downs. I'll go over the H1 report first. Staff report in Harbor Area Schools, employment of staff dated today, August 25th, 2026. Submitting for board consideration to approve the employment of staff in accordance with the revised school code and other general laws of Michigan. Facts and analysis. It is recommended that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation for the hire of the following personnel. Policy 3120 and 4120, employment of professional staff. Strategic plan goal reference, personnel leadership. Benton Harbor Area Schools will recruit, hire, develop, and retain the best staff to support student outcomes. New hires, Chris Dugan, certified ELA teacher for Benton Harbor High School. The funding source is general funds, effective 8/24/26. We have Brian Fellows, certified social studies teacher for Fair Plain Middle School, general funds, effective 8/24/2026. Angel Ash is the MTSS specialist for Fair Plain Elementary School. The funding source is Title I, effective August 24th, 2026. And last, we have John Pronier, grow your own teacher in math, Benton Harbor High School, general funds, effective August 25th, 2026. We recommend that the board vote to approve the employment of the aforementioned staff.
So are you requesting us to vote on this today so they can start next?
Yes, please.
Okay, is that the board's pleasure? Is that fine? Okay, so at this time, I'll ask, is there a motion to approve staff report H1?
I think I'll move. Support.
Okay, the motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Trustee Bradley. Questions, comments, or concerns from the board?
Madam President, before I could interject, I do have a conflict of interest with number 3, so can we separate that?
Oh, you want to take it out of the consent agenda?
Yes, please.
Okay. So let the record state that Trustee, Vice President Bowens has requested that we separate Angel Ash, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, from staff report H1, any objections from the board? Okay, so at this time, I'll ask Secretary Triplett, are you still comfortable supporting H1 with the removal, with the separation of Angel Ash?
Yes.
Trustee Bradley, do you still support?
I support it.
All right, so are there any additional questions, comments, or concerns regarding staff report H1? You have the floor.
Madam President, I was looking at the staff report. Should it be Title I funds or should there be general funds for the MTSS?
Separate.
It is Title I funds, it's paid for with that funding source.
Can you state that again?
So Title I is a funding source that pays for additional support for students. Free and reduced lunch is how we get those funds, but it pays for things they can't get in the gen ed classroom. So that's the funding source for this particular position.
So is that a yes or no? I'm sorry.
Yes.
It shouldn't be noted. It
should be Title I. It's correct on the sheet.
Okay.
Why she just did? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not on the portal copy, it's on.
Okay.
It doesn't say it on here.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
why.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was tripping because my paper said general funds and I was trying. So on mine, it says Title I. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
No, it on the actual agenda and on this computer, it says Title I.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, but.
Appreciate that clarification. Okay. Doyle, was that the only question that you had?
That was it.
Okay, so we'll go to, I'm not sure if it was Gavin or Rocket that was.
No, I don't have.
Okay, so Treasurer Gavin and then Secretary Triplett.
Thank you. My question is about the grow your own teacher math. So if this person is hired in for grow your own teacher for math, how does that work for us? Do they have, like, how much time do they have for the certification process? Is the job posted while they're in Grow Your Own, or like how exactly would that work with us hiring this person in under that program?
The position will remain posted. However, they have 3 years to pass the test, complete the coursework for it. This person comes highly skilled, as his resume dictates. So passing the test will be a breeze for him, but he's not trained in education. So he'll have to go through the TNT process with #teach. And they have 18 months to finish that coursework and 3 years total in the program supports from that agency.
And so if we post the position, if a certified teacher applies for the position, do they then get this high school math position and then this person is moved to another opening?
So right now we have 2 vacant math positions in the high school. And we've been really working hard to fill those math and science positions. We were very successful, but yet we have 2 unfilled math positions. So if someone applied for if we had 2 people apply, we'd have to hire them. And we find another place for this person in the district.
Okay, so when we hire them in, is there, I guess what I'm asking is, do we guarantee them 3 years with us? If the Grow Your Own program is a 3-year program, do we provide a guarantee as long as they're meeting the qualifications of the program as required? Do we guarantee them those 3 years? Or is it kind of a we hope.
Yeah, we haven't had to deal with that since I've been looking at the history of Ben Harbor with this program. However, we are getting many more applicants than we've ever had. So we may come to a point where we have to deal with that conflict. I'd rather talk to the HR committee about that before I make a decision sitting here.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks. It would be great for us to kind of be ahead of the game on that and be clear with our employees about what assurances we can provide. But I do support this report.
Treasurer Gavin, can you send me your question you just asked?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Secretary Triplett?
I just want to say, I'm just so happy that you guys are working so hard. I'm just happy to see new hires. I'm happy to see in the area of ELA at the high school, in the area of mathematics. Mathematics and science teachers are is a scarcity in these times. So people are struggling all over the country to find teachers, period. So I'm very, very proud that we do have just tonight new hires, not new fires or new retirements or new leaving and all of that. So thank you so very, very much for the hard work that you guys are doing in HR in getting teachers here in Ben Harbor area school. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Triplett. You know, one thing I do need to say, one of the people reached out to me and there's like, they want to come to Benton Harbor and I told them to apply and to see their name on the list. I'm excited. They had people reaching out to me, you know, giving good references. So it's also inspiring to see that we have a naval officer and pilot that's going to be teaching our students. So that's pretty good. So
that's the math teacher I was talking about.
Yes.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board?
No, Madam President, you can call for the vote.
All right, Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote?
President Robinson.
Yes.
Vice President Bowen.
Yes.
Secretary Triplett. Yes. Treasurer Gavin.
Yes.
Trustee Rocket Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Bradley.
Yes.
Trustee Doyle.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, so as amended, up next we have staff report H2. And this is concerning Angel Ash and TSS specialists. FPE Title I funding effective August 24th, 2026. Is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Is there a second and support?
Support.
The motion has been made by Secretary Triplett and supported by Treasurer Gavin. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
I do have a question. I'm not sure if that name sounds so familiar. Feels like a tiger.
Class of 1990.
So for some reason, I feel like I'm not class of 90, but I'm honorary class of 90 because of my sister. And I know that name. I love that name. So it's really great to have Miss Ash back. Is what I would like to say. Glad to have her back.
All righty. Any other questions from the board?
No, I too want to piggyback on that. Ms. Ash, I remember her. She's gonna do an amazing job. She is alumni of Benton Harbor High School. And she's gonna do a great job. So I'm happy that Angel decided to even come back home to be a part of this great movement that we're in the midst of.
All right, if there's no other questions, comments, or concerns, Secretary Triplett, can you call the vote for staff report H2?
President Robinson,
Yes?
Vice President Bowens.
No.
Secretary Triplett. Yes.
Hmm.
Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Raquel Martin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley,
Yes.
Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, awesome. Do you have anything else for your area? Was it supposed to be a standing or no?
Yeah, I'm sorry, abstain.
Okay, because that just confused me.
Yeah, I apologize.
Okay,
No hard feelings. Angel is my cousin.
okay.
Charge it all. And that was
So you
all.
have to recuse yourself. No.
Yeah.
Recuse. Like I recuse.
So point of clarity, is that not a no? Is that more of a
Saying, so let the record show that trustee Bowens has clarified that vote was him recusing himself and abstaining due to conflict of interest for staff report H2.
Madam President, I think we need clarification on that. I don't know if it's a conflict. Is that really, I'm asking you, is that a conflict of interest, or if, say, for instance, if you have to recuse yourself, that means, like, you know, that's his cousin, or that's my brother recusing, is not like you can't vote for your relatives. Is that a conflict? Would that be a conflict of interest, or?
Yeah, because he has a blood relationship, and taking a vote for a relative would be considered like a benefit to a family member, in a sense, like a gain for him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one and the same. But yeah, he did it the right way. All right, and I apologize. Oh, Vice President Bowens, did you have anything else for your section?
No, if you have any questions for the HR committee, please get them to us. We're gonna be discussing at our next meeting once we have it. Where we were a year ago, where we are now with the certified versus uncertified vacancy. The other thing that we're gonna talk about is the process, like Trustee Gavin had a question about grow your own in teachers and training. We're gonna be discussing that, but what is the process when somebody applies for the job? I just got an email when they apply for a job with the district and they're rejected. What are the criteria and why do they reject it and stuff like that? So we're gonna try to get to the meat and potatoes, as Commissioner Henry at the city would say, and come back with some information for you all. So I'm excited about our next meeting and where we're gonna go from here.
All right, awesome. So up next we have an athletics update. And I received an email from the superintendent's office, I believe last week, requesting first Superintendent Sanders to have athletics as a standard update on the agenda and where I think it should be placed. So if you guys have noticed that difference, That is Superintendent Sanders' request. And I couldn't remember, was it Student Support Services that would give us those updates, or was it Dr. Bus previously? We've switched, changed, rearranged it. Student Support Services. And with us no longer having a Director of Student Support Services, that's not a particular item that we have there. So we'll have to be mindful, because we still have those programs as it relates to McKinney Veto Services and things of that nature that we'll need updates from, but that may be something that can be given to us by teaching and learning. Okay. All right, so I'll pass the floor over to Director Muhammad for the athletics update.
Thank you, Madam President. The Board of Trustees, Superintendent Sanders, the Cabinet, the public. Just as I want to announce for our fall sports, we will have varsity football, varsity volleyball, varsity cross country, boys and girls, girls for the volleyball, and of course, men or boys for football. But we do plan to, in the future, add flag football, which would consist of both. And we also plan to have next year, at least at a minimum, junior varsity teams for our volleyball as well as our football. But we want to grow our athletics where we have freshmen, JV, as well as varsity. We do have our kickoff for our football season. August 28th is Friday. We hope that the weather cooperates. We're playing Berrien Springs, Shamrocks, and as we saw on one of the advertisements that they say they are the zoo keepers. I believe that's what it was. So just a little competitive juices to flow. But nevertheless, we have some special on Friday from 3:30 to 4 p.m. We have our meet and greet for our special recognition for our 2015 to 2017 Benton Harbor playoff teams. The buzz in the community, there's been, social media is absolutely buzzing about that particular part of our Friday program. I've received many phone calls from around the Southwest Michigan where people plan to attend. So that will be from 4 to 6. We also have our senior citizen season passes, which are, as you know, free at no cost. So we want to always take care of our senior citizens. We have also our coordinator, Miss Aaliyah Ruiz, for our ticket office. So you'll be able to pick up your credentials, a Board of Education and cabinet members at will call. We also are advertising our cashless entry through GoFan. So we'll be, as MHA, SAA has led the way where it will be cashless. So you'll be able to bring your card, Cash App, Chime, American Express. We'll have the technology right there where you can just pay right with the card and go right in. But like I say, our ticket office will be handling all of that. Our concession stand, you will find it will be upgraded. Our menu, you will see, will have some changes. Ms. Brock Carter met with Chick-fil-A, where we'll be partnering with them for our concession. We also will have a new menu. We'll be offering not a Happy Meal, but a Tiger Meal, which will be a Chicago-style hot dog, chips, and drink. Our volleyball kicks off September 2nd on the road at Quincy, Michigan. And I just have to say that, through athletics was the first time that I was able to travel as a student at Benton Harbor High School. And that learning experience for students and young people it follows and goes with you the rest of your life. Where you go other places, you meet people. So we want to make this athletic season the most memorable, not just for fans and parents, but for our student body. We have some amazing young people, and we want to cultivate, we want to develop them, and we want to make them leaders by using sports. Lastly, this football here, every player that played in that era, particularly that undefeated team, will sign the football. We do have to encase it, but we can preserve the legacy of Benton Harbor athletics and Benton Harbor area schools. Very good book I would recommend. It's called Stolen Legacy. It's very good, but we want to preserve ours. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any questions or comments for the board regarding the athletic update you have before Bradley, and then we'll go to Doyle?
Thank you, Coach Muhammad for the update. I'll be giving you title off if you was here, so I'm gonna go with Coach Muhammad. I do have a question with the, I know we had discussed, I had talked to you before about the schedules. One of the deacons from church had stopped me and said, I'm not tech savvy. I need to print it out schedule. So I know you're probably gonna be working on that. And then the other thing, we had discussed that the school board association, when we do the senior citizens passes, is there a way we can kind of collect information for those that are tech savvy, kind of get an email address or an address, so that way when the board has something in the future, we can kind of have a list to go off of, because we don't want to not include our seniors in a lot of stuff, because sometimes we can forget about them. So I don't know what the blessing of the president. I'm sorry to overstep.
I have no objections according to Superintendent Sanders. If he wants to take that on, or Director Muhammad, I'm not gonna hate on the seniors, so I have no objection. You all want to do that? Okay. Trustee Doyle, and then we'll go to Secretary Trickett.
One of our seniors passed last year, Ricky Dooms the third. And we were supposed to put something on our helmets for this football season. Do you know anything about that, or will that be happening this season, or what are we doing with that?
Thank you, Trustee Doyle. That preceded my time in office, but I do know that just in my experience in sports, sometimes there can be a patch or the helmet. So I'll get with Superintendent Sanders and we can find a very honorable way to honor our senior, Mr. Dumas.
And then let Director Muhammad, that is something that I assured the board and the city that we will have. So my apologies to you, but I would really like to see that happen.
Madam President, thank you. I'm just happy to see that. I'm just happy to see all of the things that's happening. You all have been on these jobs like 9 days. You all have really done a lot. I mean, like seriously, you guys have done a whole lot, and I appreciate that. I think field trips and travel through athletic is a part of the total student experience. And I think that it's very important. I think that our football players and our cheerleaders and support, they should be at every game. There should be a way for them to be at every game. And that I hope that is, that takes place. Also, when they travel, that they have food and they have the correct money and the correct amount of money. You cannot buy anything. Brown bags are almost $17 now. No, brown bags are very, very high. I hope you guys look into that and see within your budget for those kids to be able to eat. They're here at school all day. I don't know what you have in between prior to the game, but our athletes were given an allotment of money. arrangements were made for them to go to restaurants and what have you. I mean, to take it all to the next level. I don't want them, you know, there was time, and I know some of, since we're playing like Bearing Springs at this particular juncture. You know, I don't know how that looks, because that's an unfamiliar thing for me. I'm a Tiger from the LMAC. You know, so we didn't play Bearing Springs or Coloma or any of those schools back in the day. So I'm looking forward to us getting to that point again. However, if I don't know, maybe Miss Director Brock Carter and you, Mr. Sanders and what have you, make sure that our kids have everything that they need.
We guarantee you, Secretary Tripp, that they will have top of the line.
Thank you.
Any other comments? I'll go Gavin and then Brad, Bones.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for the update, Director Mohammed. I am excited about our athletics this year. I'm glad that we're able to get some updates on it. What's coming up for me is student athletes. I remember there was a time when right after school, there was a study hour before practice. I don't know if it was an hour or a half an hour or what. So, you know, I'd just be real interested in knowing if we have that embedded in our culture, if we will have something like that brought back and embedded in our culture. Not sure if you're ready to answer that now, but just some above I'd like to plant.
Yes, so that was one of the questions when I was interviewed by Mr. Sanders and the interviewing team. And I shared with them that we want to set up an athletic academic advising department within athletics, where we have tutoring, we have academic counseling, where students are aligned with the NCAA clearinghouse. Students are tracked where we know that, you know, they need English 12, they need English 9, they need so many core classes to make them qualified. So we don't have it running now, but I can assure you sooner than later, we'll have our academic advising team to present to you.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Thanks so much. What also comes up for me is a possible athletic calendar that may include pep rally. Community loves to hear about our pep rallies. And I remember once upon a time, I don't know if this is a memory or if I'm making it up, but I feel like we used to have a pep squad to really, you know, hype up for athletics and all of that. So these are just thoughts that come up, you know, really excited that we're working on an elementary and middle school feeder program. And I guess I'm wondering, is Taekwondo, martial arts, is any of those things, are those considered athletics? Is that something that our district can explore? It's different than, you know, your football, your basketball, but I do believe that there is a cohort of students who have an interest in that. And, you know, maybe there's a way to fold that into athletics.
So one of the things that the Ben Howard Athletics, we are very interested in partnering. I don't know that the Michigan High School Athletic Association, which we're a member of, offers the Taekwondo as a sport under that banner. However, I do have a good relationship with Grandmaster Smith and others, and we want to expand our athletic program, not just, you know, fall, winter, spring, but we want to expand even into the summer and partner with other organizations as well.
Thank you so much. Those are my questions. Good to hear.
Thank you.
All right, Vice President Bowles.
Yes, just want to counter offer Trustee Gavin. When I first moved to Benton Harbor, the teacher name was Gaynell Williams and her son was Elmer Williams, and he was like, play basketball. I grew up where I couldn't play basketball, but I could play hockey and I could play soccer. And when I said I played soccer, the kids looked at me like, what's going on? Or I played hockey. I was a Detroit Red Wings. You couldn't tell me nothing. So just making sure that we're expanding the platform of our sports and what we're offering to our kids and everything of that nature. So that's all I have to say. And I look forward to joining you guys with the game. I seen Channel 16, no, ABC 57 was telling us to go hard it or right, we hard it for Tigers, so please hard it if you're watching right now on the Facebook page. So
Any other questions from the board? Okay, so I've heard everything everyone has said, but my mind is stuck on, can you please reiterate the advertisement regarding the game? What is it that was said by Parent Springs Public Schools?
There was a flyer that went out and I immediately reported it to our superintendent, sent it to him, and it stated that Berrien Springs Shamrocks were the zookeepers.
Okay. I thought I heard you.
Right, just for the record.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I must say that Superintendent Sanders really gave Coach Cuba some real inspiration in the PD. So not only was it academic in nature, but it was very inspiring as well.
Okay. I thought that's good. Just go ahead, Super.
I was gonna say, I saw the flyer too, and I saw the zookeeper, and I know zookeepers think they can tame a tiger, but once that tiger is loose, even the zookeeper runs, so don't worry about it. We'll take care of the Friday night.
That was my sentiments exactly. I don't think Berrien Springs has a zoo or page large nor mighty enough to contain the pride that is the Tigers of Benton Harbor area schools.
Tiger though. I got a lot of tiger down there though.
So I just want to make sure my mind has been stuck. I heard everything. I don't want you to dismiss that I didn't hear what you said, but my mind has been stuck there. So I just want to make sure that I fully understood what you said. So thank you for that. And then my second question, does MHSAA still consider cheerleading a sport?
Yes, ma'am, Madam President, cheerleading is a competitive sport.
Okay.
And as Coach Erla Reynolds builds our cheerleading program, we will be competing on the statewide level, and they will be having a wonderful rendition for you on Friday.
Mm-hmm. And those cheerleaders are still considered a varsity level sport, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so I just wanted to notate and represent for my cheerleaders that we are also responsible.
And I think they may be a clarion call for former cheerleaders as well.
Okay, and I would like to contribute to the coaching team. I just have to see if it's some supporting her if she accepts it. Have to see if it's something that I can squeeze in my schedule. But thank you. I'm really excited about all of the updates provided. If there's no other questions from the board, we'll proceed with the agenda. I'll let the record show it's only 8 o'clock, so we're doing quite well. Old business. I did have a question, and forgive me, Superintendent Sanders, that I didn't ask in advance or ask it under teaching and learning, but for this school year, are there any changes being made to the course offerings for Benton Harbor area schools? Are they remaining as previously approved by the board? Because I know that was a previous conversation in one of our recent meetings.
Well, Rick was the photography and drama that we do.
Okay, so we want to make sure we have to bring that before so we can make it official. So that the board can approve the course offerings, because the last thing that we approved does not list that, and so whatever the credits are, whether those are considered electives or how that's being counted towards credits for graduation. We want to bring that before the board so we can vote on that officially. And I'll ask for grades from the board that I didn't realize that it wasn't on there, but I just naturally, once I got here, I'm like, well, maybe we're not making changes, but I remember you telling me about the photography, and it's kind of gonna be like a merge with like a journalism photography type thing.
Well, we also have the teachers for both of those courses. They were part of our existing faculty.
Okay.
So we will recommend that Mr. Wolf is our photography teacher. I think Mr. Wolf is the best photographer in the country. And one of our English teachers from last year, Miss Aulette, has proposed to start a drama theater program here so that we can start to rebuild our fine arts department and offerings for our students at Ben Harbor High School.
Okay, absolutely. And I don't want you to think that I'm so particular about that because I don't want to for the course, the kids take the course, and then somebody in the state looks with a fine tooth comb and comes back and says, well, the Ben Harbor Area School Board never approved that as a part of this approved curriculum.
Oh, understood.
Okay. Secretary Triplett.
So, we're adding those two courses. Is anything being taken out of the court?
No.
So all the facts that are already approved will remain, and we're adding two courses.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for old business? All right, so for new business, and I just noticed he stepped out, but you might be, Trooper Burton, did he leave? Oh, go ahead, you have it, sir.
For new business, I know that we're at the beginning of the school year and there was a lot going on last year. And I'm really hoping that we can add to our agenda our student school board members, and we can, work it into the campaigning. What we added in the policy is that we wanted to create an opportunity for student school board members to campaign, to get that experience in that way, and to be seated after that campaign. And so I'm hoping that we can, is it possible to get that started, to have that this year for our students to be able to be represented in the board, at the board table?
Absolutely. Superintendent Sanders, did you have anything to add to that?
No.
Okay.
Not this time.
And just in case, so that, because I know you've been Principal Sanders, but our board policy actually requires student board members. And so it's in our bylaws, and they normally sit at a table, and they don't necessarily have a tangible voting rights in the manner that we do, but they do contribute to the conversation, and they've always given us updates on what they're hearing internal from the students or any concerns that the students have.
I'm excited to help identify those students. As a matter of fact, it's in alignment with our state framework for social studies, which is the C3 framework. And in that framework, one of the major components of that framework is taking action. So we talk about compelling questions. We talk about the disciplines of social studies. We talk about the importance of evaluating sources. And then that fourth and final component is taking action. And so that's an excellent opportunity for our students to engage civically in our community. And so it's also a part of our curriculum here at the school. So that's something that we look forward to supporting.
All right, anyone else with new business?
Oh, Madam President.
Secretary Triplett.
This past weekend, one of our senior Tiger fans, Willie Paul Dixon, Mr. Dixon passed away, and they had his funeral this past weekend. Mr. Dixon was an avid Tiger fan. He and Peepaw Guidry, all of those, they never missed a Tiger game, never. And so to show that love and respect for our seniors is very, very important. I did take it upon myself as the Secretary of the Board of Education to make sure that a card was sent on behalf of our president and the board and superintendent. And I also got a card from the athletic department and because when you look at his obituary, that's what they talked about, how much he loved being a Tiger fan. I think Mr. Dixon was 90 years old or 91 years old. So we did acknowledge, so we did make sure the family got their card from the board and from the athletic department.
Thank you. So I have one kind of pre-message update that I wanted to give to the board, and I was hoping that Mr. Burton would be in the room at that moment, but Superintendent Sanders or Director Carter may be able to give us the update as well. So one of the things that has been discussed for a minute in various interactions is our students having an opportunity to tour the Michigan State Police campus. And so I did share that with Superintendent Sanders that was a desire of Colonel Grady's. And so we've actually made the connection with the Michigan State Police. And so the ask was that our students are able to come tour. They will have an opportunity to see the training campus, headquarters, forensic science lab, aviation, helicopter and drones, state emergency operations center, bomb squad, robots and dog, emergency support team, motor unit, bike team, the operations center, etc. And it's important to Colonel Grady that our students are aware that the Michigan State Police is an option for them in the future. So I just wanted to let the board know that our students will have that opportunity to take that tour. And Superintendent Sanders, I know that you told me that you had made, I believe, Burton was point on it, but did you guys have any updates on that opportunity for them?
The last update that I got from Director Burton is that he was working on the transportation. So I know that it's a go. He's been in contact with that office. And so we're 100% locked in. They like I said, the last update, they were working out some of the logistics around transportation, but we're super excited for our students to get that opportunity. And I want to thank you.
There you are.
So
do you have an update about the MSP field trip for students?
Yes, I contact Miss Kelly, which was a sergeant that was graduated from here, and she was one of the first African-American state troopers from Benton Harbor. She's waiting on assigned dates that I'm going to get with the superintendent later on once school starts to get a count of how many students want to go on that trip. And we're going to take a selective amount of students, and we already have agenda planned, and I'll give that over on the dates when we get them settled.
Thank you so much.
I'm excited.
I am as well. I'm extremely excited. Trustee Brown.
I just had a quick question. We're really been on the old business. Are we gonna still have a retreat? I'm trying to get my schedule planned out. I go back to work next week.
Yes, we selected it. We selected a date in September.
No,
Is it the 19th? So what I'll do, Bradley, I will go back and look through our minutes and reference and be sure of the date that everyone confirmed work for them. I think the 19th sounds right as well. So yes, we are going to do that. And then Superintendent Sanders, you shared with me a desire for a new CTE program. Do you have a quick second just to give them an update on that and how it kind of ties into the kids seeing the aviation piece, the drone piece for with Michigan State Police?
yeah, so we are excited about our work toward expanding our CTE program. And one of the courses that we want to offer here at Benton Harbor High School is the drone and aviation technology class for our students through our CTE program. I've had conversations with, and I don't want to mess it, I know she got married. Congratulations to former Miss Arlene Wilson, I think it's Bell, I can't remember. Bell, okay, I want to make it right. I don't want her husband to come after me. But actually, she and I have a meeting on Thursday about that program, where we are in the program, but it was something that we didn't want to rush and roll out. And so we're looking at maybe even second semester, having that option for students to enroll in that course as an elective.
You have the floor. I'm excited about that, and I love the idea of waiting to make sure everything's lined up before rolling it out. And I guess what I'm wondering is it possible to maybe even have like a waiting list, like still promote it, have students sign up in interest of it and promote it, leading up to that point?
Yeah, we're gonna get to work on the logistics, make sure that we're in compliance, and make sure that when we do roll it out, that we're able to adequately serve our students, but absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, trustee Doyle. I believe this would probably fall up under teaching and learning, but as I sit here and being reminded that my grandson went to Italy this year with his school, and I want to know, is there a possibility that we can schedule maybe some trips like that for our students, maybe something connected to the Swahili program or something? Superintendent Sanders? Or
I love the ambition of this board. You know, Secretary Trooper, so we've been doing this for about 9 days, but yeah, we'll start working on the trip to Africa next week.
I take that seriously.
I volunteer. I know normally Raquel Martin gets dibs on the field trip, but if you going to Africa, I volunteer as truly to be a. You can't have a phone. Okay, if there's no other comments from the board, we'll proceed with our agenda. Open public comment. Anyone here for open public comment? You have the floor.
I want y'all to lay down on a trip to Africa now. Don't even go there. We already got a fundraiser. It's called, we talked about it on the last, my name is Deanna Chopin. I'm the Swahili teacher, the certified Swahili teacher. We talked about the book that I'm writing, Swahili and the FBA, the Royal House of Judah, Rapping a Pure Language Beyond the Shogi. We talked about that. That is a fundraiser. And the goal is to take some of our students to, now I'm writing the book, but y'all gonna buy a copy of the book. And we gonna send students to East Africa. So the second part of this presentation that I have has to do with the other concern about why we can't get away from Swahili. That's not the question. The question is why we should not get away from Swahili. And I'm going to tell you two very quick stories. The first one is, and I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm telling you what happened. So I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. I worked over in an apartment complex. I was the service coordinator. My job was to provide programming for the residents. And some people came in that I was told to let them in, and I let them in. And so it was a religious organization, and they put a picture in front of our children here at Benton Harbor. And I was offended at that picture. My district manager happened to be on site at the time, and I went to her and I said, that picture is not psychologically appropriate for our children. And she said, go back and tell the head person, we do not allow that type of thing in our program and, in our community. And I went back and I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. So anyway, the head person came to me and saw the Swahili on the board and said, I was telling him about how we're doing that. And he said, how did you learn that? How did you learn that? And I said to him, I went to Michigan State University. That's how I learned it. And the question was it wasn't a question like, oh, how did you learn that? It was like, how dare you learn that? That's what the question was. That's how it came across. Story number 2. I was doing the Swahili. Shout out to Commissioner Mamie Yarborough, who allowed us to use the Benton Harbor Library to do Swahili. We gave it to the people. We offered it to the people free of charge. We advertised it. Somebody from this county in a different city walked in that library. He said he was of a different ethnicity. And he said his parents sent him to the Peace Corps. Okay, and the place where he went in the Peace Corps was to Kenya, East Africa. It's where they speak Swahili. And he said to me, and I did everything I could, and I send you the picture. I got the picture right of myself and I'll send it to you. And he said to me, they think y'all know how to speak Swahili, but you don't. And I do. And he was of a different ethnicity. We don't need to get away from Swahili. Other people are making millions of dollars off of our culture and off of our language and taking advantage of it. We don't need to get away from it. We need to learn it, embrace it, and understand that when those of you who it applies to, it definitely applies to me. Those of you who can say that your people, you are a descendant, if you can say that your ancestors were victims of either the transatlantic or the sub-Saharan slave trade. During the sub-Saharan slave trade, Swahili was one of the languages that our people spoke in the shogi of that point. So we don't need to leave Swahili alone. We need to learn our culture and have our minds transformed and get rid of the slave mentality. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for open public comment? Hearing none, superintendent announcements and comments. Superintendent Sanders.
I'm excited about Monday. We have kids coming back. We're playing football Friday night. It feels good to be a Tiger right now. I want to thank the school board. I want to thank the director sitting over here for supporting all the work that we've done. And just everybody in our district who's just been working in harmony over the past couple of weeks to make sure that, our kids have a school district to walk into on the 31st that they can be proud of. And I just want everybody to know that, we're working hard, we're getting ready to go, we're excited about opening the school and ready to welcome everybody back to school on the 31st. And so just a good feeling.
Thank you. Okay, we're at board member announcements and comments. Trustee Doyle. Oh, she stepped out. Trustee Raquel Martin.
Yes, I wanted to, in our meeting yesterday, in our finance meeting yesterday, it was stated that we have students coming back to Benton Harbor. Yay! That's what we want. We want to see our babies coming back to us. And then I just have a few questions or comments about the Swahili. And I'm not knocking it in any form, but I kind of just want to know some of the statistics on post-secondary learning. When they graduate from Benton Harbor, where can they go to continue that learning? And then are there scholarships and things out there available that will help them to continue that learning? So those are questions that I kind of just have out there so that, our kids can see a value in it too. More than us talking, because we see a value in a lot of things that don't necessarily interest kids. And so if they can see it as a career, then that's an interest to them. I know for my granddaughter, I asked her, what does she want to do? And she was going to be a scientist. She was going to be a veterinarian. And then the thing she ended up having to be a dentist. And I said, well, why can't you be a teacher? They don't make enough money. But I'm just saying, they're looking at the financial state of things too. So if they can see a value in it, that is when you get kids to be interested in things. We're interested in it, you're interested in it, but are the children interested in it? And if they're interested in it, then they will want to continue it in their post-secondary pursuits. So, and then there's got to be a job market out there for it, so that when they're done with this post-secondary education or career, they have a place that they can use it and get paid and be able to take care of themselves. So that's my question and comment on that. But I thank everybody for a good board meeting, and I look forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks. And if possible, we can move our September 19th retreat to September the 26th. I'd appreciate that too.
Oh, wow.
I'm done.
Okay. We'll go to trustee Doyle and then we'll go to trustee Bradley. I would just like to welcome Dr. Jones and Mr. Trudell. I didn't do that when everybody else did. Like to welcome you guys. And it looks like we're off to a great start. I feel like this is a really good meeting. I'm out of breath a little bit. Okay, this is a really good meeting, and I'm really proud of Superintendent Sanders. He's doing a great job. I didn't make it to any of the PDs, but I did see it on social media, and we were getting it in. I was very proud to watch that and to see what you are offering our staff. And I also like to give a big shout out to the community. Our village, one of our graduates from last year had a really rough time once she got to college, and we put a call out and the community answered. And I'm so grateful to see that within our community, because my son slipped through the cracks. And the reason why I sit at this table is to make sure, or to do my best to support whatever scholar needs assistance to be successful. And you guys did that for her, and I'm grateful. You guys have a wonderful night on purpose. Thank you, trustee Bradley.
Thanks everyone for coming out. There was a quote I had heard at the PD, and there's a few other things I had forgot to mention when we were on that section. One thing was we had a presenter, Dan Snyder, and he said, "You can't do your best job when you're not whole." And he was telling the teachers to take time for them. And I think that applies to us as board members and to our superintendent as well. You can't do your best job when you're not whole. So let's make sure that we're getting the proper rest. Another thing, just to kind of reset, and I've had a 6-week break from work, and I'm, trustee Vice President Vaughn is my favorite board member. I'm going back to work, so you're going to be so sad. I'm not going to be here sometimes because of work.
I gotta count.
No, that's so sweet. And then I just want to say this. I believe we're moving in the right direction, and let's not self-sabotage ourselves and our progress. Let's remember to keep our students and community at the forefront of our decision making. Let's not make personal grievance and personal feelings cloud our collective judgment. I may not agree with all decisions made, and I can't let what I feel personally get in the way of moving this district forward. I'm praying that we have a safe and productive school year. I'm praying divine protection over our students, parents, staff, admin, bus driver, and transportation staff. And then God covers every campus. And to my fellow board members, let's stay encouraged. Let's keep on moving this district forward and moving in the right direction. I know we can do it. I can't wait to Friday night. I'm excited. It feels like I'm back in school. So I'll be out there. I'm going to find my class of 05, the best class, a hoodie. Oh, yeah, I have to say that. But I'm going to find my hoodie. It's 20 years old, but it's still strong because it's got tigers on there. Yeah, have a good night.
All right, thank you. We have Treasurer Gavin next.
Thank you, President Robinson. This has been an amazing meeting. The energy is up for me. I feel very good about it. I want to thank you, Superintendent Sanders, for your leadership, for your humility, for your integrity, and keeping your word, for having an open mind. I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for what I've been hearing from the staff, in the community. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very grateful to see Dr. Chopin here. I think it speaks to, I don't think, it clearly speaks to your dedication to your students and to this community and to the culture. I would love to see one day very soon, very near future, see our children travel to East Africa. I would love to see that, and I would love to see their parents coming with them. Every time I hear about people going to Africa, there's like this connection to the motherland, and we can facilitate that in our community from this place. I think it would be a miracle. It would be a beautiful miracle. My only problem with the Swahili program is that it's not offered in early elementary. I think that it would be great for us to eventually be able to extend that opportunity for students to be speaking multiple languages. We can have multiple languages. I would love for our babies to be speaking Spanish, Swahili, English, and other languages. As they learn new languages, it actually improves their English, their understanding of the English language. So I'm just excited about us opening up a new world of opportunities and creating a space for our students to connect with the other 200 million people who speak Swahili across the world. Once you create that, and to Trustee Rocket Martin's point, we can create a market. Trickle-down theory will have you believe that it is the big corporations that create the jobs, but it is the consumers and the entrepreneurs who also are the job creators, and we can do that for ourselves. So super excited about that. Also, really, I want to congratulate Samaya on going off to college against all odds, and I would love for us to one day, very soon, possibly next year, this school year, couple in a community open house with our Peace Day reunion so that we are able to pour into our seniors and help send them off with some love and some encouragement and some gifts on that last day of school as well. Thank you all so much for a great meeting.
All right, thank you. Up next, we have Secretary Triplett.
Enough has been said this evening, and so I'm going to pause and continue to look and observe. Thank you, Madam.
All right, up next, we have Vice President Lawrence. I'm surprised none of my colleagues talked about that commercial or the video on YouTube. So I want to say kudos, job well done. What is the quote? Come get you some. Oh, let me get some of them. That's what I did.
I know that.
Yes, but I was at a party and I was using that to encourage one of my friends that go to a fellow district. I told her to come and be a tiger. So I'm just excited. You know, today I ran into a lady that moved to Benton Harbors in the 50s. And she talked about Highland, she talked about all of the stuff. And she said, you're on that board of education. Are you guys going to get it right? And I said, yes. She said, when I used to go there, we had pride. It was beautiful. It was she talked about the Benton Harbor Junior High, how it big, beautiful staircase. She talked so much. I told her, hey, I got to go. But it was just so encouraging to listen to her. So a lot is on it. You know, when we talk about Swahili, I actually had a cousin that lived and was born in the Ivory Coast of Africa. He married into the family, and he was a heavy speaker of French. 60% of Africa speaks French. My cousin had a heavy accent, and one of her last things before she did when she died was go to Africa. She came back. She got bit by a mosquito there and came back and died. But that was the last place she ever visited. So when we talk about language and we talk about Swahili, I understand that, but I also understand that we have French, and when we were in school, we had, I think, me, Matthew, Miss Allers, and Mr. Allers spoke French, and she once spoke Spanish, and we had to do that. So it's very interesting when we get into the language, also giving our kids exposure. I'm lucky and blessed to attend McCord Renaissance School. We used to have a thing back in the day. If he's watching, props to Mr. Pearson, it was called the McCord Travelers, and we would travel to different places. But when I stayed in Detroit, one of the biggest trips that we used to have to do was go to Toronto. And when you're driving into Canada, they have English and French. And they started us off in third grade learning French. So it's just interesting on the language component. And again, a lot of 60% of Africa, it's not British. I mean, it's not France that's speaking it, it's Africa. So I think we need to put things in concept. Also, in giving our youth the opportunity to travel, a few years ago, some of our youth went to Cuba, and they got to see the Spanish population and they got to see different things. So if we're going to expose our students to a worldwide view, I don't want us to have a tunnel vision. Mr. Sanders, in your administration, I have high hopes for you all. Good luck on a start of a successful school year. One thing I do hope we bring back is back in the day when Paula Don was here, I got to attend a superintendent scholarship banquet, and it was beautiful. The Jones had it beautiful, and they gave about 10 scholarships out. I think it used to be a tradition. I don't know what happened to it, but I would love for us to bring that back. We don't, in May or whatever, we need to do it to make sure people can invest in our children with that scholarship fund. So that's it for me, and have a great night.
All right, thank you. So I'll wrap us up. I'm extremely excited about the energy of this table, the passion and the excitement of our staff, as stated before. I'm honored to be here with you all, a part of this mission, and I too really appreciated the social media video and the impact that it had in encouraging our community to become a part of what we're attempting to accomplish here at Ben Harbor Area School. So thank you for your leadership with that. You and Ms. Booth, I believe, collaborated. Was she a part of the project?
So Andre Mason came over and the IT
department,
entire department,
okay,
along with Chantel Booth and her team, they did all the heavy lifting. So
okay, so kudos to the team for that. That was extremely exhilarating for me. I'm excited that things are turning for our academics, that we are making advancement in our athletics, and I'm looking forward to hitting that next A, which is the arts. And considering in our master's facility plan upgrades that we can make to the PAC and how we can transform that program as well. So I'm super excited. I'm not putting that on your plate right now on this on your third minute of work, and I'm just foreshadowing the possibilities for us. And I am really excited about the potential of our kids traveling to Africa and other opportunities standard than what they've been allotted before. I'm also going to be looking at other opportunities that I can think of or suggestions I can make for other field trips that show them possibilities are limitless as far as what they can do in their careers. And pertaining to myself, when I was a kid, my desire was to either be a judge, a U.S. Marshal, or a fighter pilot in the Air Force. And my grandparents, although they were okay with judge, his concern was that people try to take judges out. And he just felt like a U.S. Marshal or Air Force was something, especially a fighter pilot, was something that was too dangerous for his granddaughter. But I think that part of it as well is that they didn't necessarily have examples of individuals in our community that looked like me that made them feel comfortable that it was a possibility for me. And so I would like us to expose our students to as many opportunities as we can. I know that they have a trooper burden as it relates to Michigan State Police, but I just thought, especially with you considering the drone program and all of that, it would be a good merge. So getting them exposed to different opportunities for field trips, I think would be amazing. And if Benton Harbor area schools can plant that seed, then we'll all have done great work for our community and those that are future alumni of our district. So I'm super excited about everything to come. I thank you all for being here. Thank you to our chairman for chairing in my transition. And with that being said, I will remind Brittany Springs that Tigers are always what?
Predator.
Not brave.
And now what?
Never the brave.
Great.
All right. So we're gonna ensure that they figure that out on Friday, because I'm still heated about that.
I did get some clarification on that with the Tigers are predators. But the statement was this, that tigers are cunning competitors, never the prey.
Right. Okay, well, we're gonna be all three and not in nobody's zoo.
Oh, dude.
All right, with that being said, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Okay. All right, the motion has been made by trustee Bradley and supported by treasurer Gavin. Questions, comments, and concerns? Hearing none.
I think I do want to do my comments, no?
Secretary Triplett, can you please call the vote?
Hey, we have not dismissed, let us call to order.
Yes, everyone, please. The tape is still on.
We have not dismissed. Thank you. We appreciate you so very, very much.
They were ready.
Now you're doing a good job. Now you're gonna walk all over our head. No. I know you all are tired. Madam President,
Yes.
Vice President Bowen,
Yes.
Secretary Triplett, yes. Treasurer Gavin,
Yes.
Trustee Bradley, yes. Trustee Doyle,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, meeting is adjourned as of 8:41 PM.